DDS. From the DDS studios, we are your hosts, Blake Melton, Bradley Newberry, and from the man cave, it is Matthew Two-Tone Blue Parker. Parker, what's going on, though?
Hey, last time y'all saw us, USF, we said Jeff Scott would be gone, but he's gone. Jeff Hafley in Boston College, we see you.
You've got to stop predicting these firings because they happen often.
All I'm saying is you got to keep your name out of our mouths. That's all I'm saying. But, guys, thanks for joining us tonight for another edition of DDS Sportstalk. While we got your attention, go ahead. Down there below, quick, free, easy, does a lot of good for us, really helps us out. Hit that like and subscribe button down there on YouTube. Give us a rumble on Rumble. Follow us on all of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at DDS Sports Talk, as well as, and you can download the audio version of these podcasts on all your favorite podcasting platform. Newberry.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be doing some pretty fun stuff here tonight. Tell us about it.
We've got the college Pick-6. We have the NFL Pick-6. We're going to talk about, well, actually, not just talk about, each one of us, we're going to go round table style. We're going to give the midterm grades around the AFC South. But first, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and their quarterback question with Josh Allen. He was unable to practice both Wednesday and Thursday. Parker, have you heard the latest news out of the Buffalo Bills camp for today?
I mean, literally they are using the term hour by hour, not even day by day. Has a partially torn UCL, I believe it is. But I'm just going to tell you, I've been saying this for all week. He ain't playing. Like, there is somebody that knows more than we do out there, and that is the people putting 5-6 figures down on these games. And there is a reason this line has gone from 9.5 to 3.5 in a matter of a couple of days. This guy is not playing this.
Yeah, I can tell you that partially torn UCL, it doesn't matter. It's a torn UCL. This is Tommy John surgery waiting to happen right here is what this is. The more that he plays with it, I mean, look, he can go out there and try to go. He's not going to hurt it any worse. I mean, he's going to have Tommy John surgery. Is the bottom line. Huge. It will be a huge detrimental fact if he does not play. I think Parker's exactly right. The guys that are putting the big bucks down have consulted the professionals in this realm, and I can tell you right now, if he plays, he won't be of much use.
Parker, if he's done,
we have said
they've got such a big, they've got a good record, I should say. Is this it? I mean, no playoffs. How bad can it get?
Oh man, it's going to be bad for me, man. That's my quarterback for fantasy.
Well, hey, they do have a good backup. Case Keenum, if you remember, he had a huge year in 2017 throwing to a Minnesota Viking named Stephon Diggs. So he does have that connection down, but we talked in the early season, like they're playoffs still. Yeah. But this team, we said it before one game was played. If they want to get to the Super Bowl, it's going to have to go through Buffalo. That is a magical home field advantage. And if he's out for multiple games, it probably won't happen.
I mean, depending on, he could be done for the year. If he needs Tommy John surgery, he could be done is the problem. Like, he's not going to be able to throw the ball very far downfield with much velocity. How does this change the playoff picture, though? I mean, like I said, they're probably going to make the playoffs, right? But what does it really do to the power rankings for the Buffalo Bills?
For me, I think the AFC was kind of wide open anyway. And when you take like a Buffalo Bills team out of the equation almost completely that makes it even more wide open. I mean, you kind of turn your attention to teams like Tennessee and Kansas City and Miami. Do they sneak up in that conversation now?
I think absolutely they do. It's going to be an interesting swing in the power scales here for the AFC because I think that if Josh Allen can't go, man, I don't know.
I found your quote, Parker. Coach McDermott. We are in an hour-to-hour situation here to see how he progresses. They had 15 names on the injury report today. It is a gross situation up in Buffalo right
now. So that's one of my points when we do all those confidence picks. Why I took Minnesota so high. So I don't think Josh Allen's playing, and by that, These other guys that they probably could play, if the star quarterback is out, hey guys, we're playing against a pretty good team. Let's just sit everyone down. Let's treat this almost like a bye week. Let's get healthy. Let's not get our quarterback healthy and all these other pieces hurt. So I think it's either they all play or none of them are going to play.
I think that's a fair argument.
Yep.
Hey, don't forget, man,
Go ahead.
the Jets. They've got the same amount of wins in that division. I mean, at some point we have to
head to head.
Yeah, they did.
They own the tiebreaker.
At some point we have to talk about them. Their defense is legit. I mean, their quarterback, that's a different situation.
Their defense is Blake saucy.
Sauce is the man. Sauce is the man.
Mm.
Parker loves the sauce.
Hey, we get to be
That means two things.
we get to be teachers right here. We get to hand out some grades. We get to fill out them report cards on some AFC South teams.
Yep.
I wrote down here at the top in the introduction, as for the division, it's bad. It's one of the worst divisions in NFL football this year. And we're going to start with the Houston Texans. They've earned a record of 1-6-1. Man, I wrote down, I predicted 5-12. They're not going to reach it. Levy is a dead man coaching. They have some young talent on this team, and it's highlighted by the rookie running back, Damian Pierce, because you see him with the ball all the time. But they have pieces on defense, too. I give them a midterm grade of D. They are falling short of my predicted pace of 5-12.
Yeah, I think D is honestly, it's a fair grade for them. I, like you said, you can see the pieces here and there, especially with Damian Pierce there. I mean, you could definitely see a bright spot there, but not having anybody that can deliver the ball from the quarterback position, right now it's just bad. It's just all bad. There's not much good there. I mean, you look at 1-6-1?
Yeah.
It's a daggum miracle that they're not 0-8. It really is.
When we watched them play us, I really was like, this isn't even a shot at Brad. I really was like, who is this team beat? Like, seriously. Like, they were so
the Jags, basically.
I looked it up. I was just like, holy, like, who could they beat? It was just dreadful. And I will try to look at this also moving forward, not just how bad they are this year. Like, you're right. They have a good running back. They've got some good pieces in the secondary there who I think is going to turn out well, but they've botched the coaching thing. They've just done everything, not everything bad, but they did finally move on from Deshaun. Like, we're talking these last 2 years hasn't been a rebuild because he's been sitting there on the bench. They finally got some picks out from him. So now we are finally starting this, but I still gave him a D+ just because of just how absolutely pitiful they are on the field.
Yeah, it's bad.
Next team, speaking of coaching.
Speaking of bad,
the Indianapolis Colts have earned a record of 3-5-1. I had them predicted at a 10-7 pace, winning the AFC South division, and that's laughable right now. They fired their coach. They hired someone that's never coached down in the NFL with Jeff Saturday. Matt Ryan is old and benched. The entire organization is handcuffed by a bad owner. You get an F at the midterm.
Absolutely. If there's a F-, in fact, I mean, Parker, you'll have to fill me in. I know somewhere in our preseason shows that we did, we mentioned Frank Reich not making it through this season.
Another predicted
your
fire.
name came out of our mouth, and I'm telling you, that is the kiss of death for you. The Jeff Saturday hire, I don't understand it. For me, I know that I know Irsay's like a old hippie or whatever, but good Lord, what a crazy move that was. A guy that has no coaching experience, and I'm not really sure how he even finishes the season, just coming off of an ESPN show in the middle of the season, just stepping in trying to fill the void there at coaching rather than letting one of his assistants take over. I don't understand that at all.
He's a billionaire that hired his drinking buddy to be the coach of the team. I win the Powerball, and Bradley, guess what? You can be my coach just because I don't care. Well, that's literally what it is. This guy has zero experience. He played on a team, for a little bit. He did. The only time he ever coached, was in high school in Georgia at a low-level high school, like an A, like the lowest it gets. And he had a losing record in high school. It doesn't make any sense. And I was like, can I give him a G? because F- is, I mean, it is as low as it can get.
For good God.
They've traded their picks for trash quarterbacks. They hired who I like, Jeff Saturday, but he's not a coach. The offensive coordinator is 30 years old. And the only reason he has the job, he's the only one of the entire team that's ever called a play, and that was in college.
They have Gus Bradley, who used to coach for the powerful Jags.
Yeah, but he didn't call plays.
Nah, man, it's just a disaster.
I love it. I hope that they, you know what's so great about it? That Saturday is going to do what this team should have been doing the whole time, and that is running the ball, which is going to keep them in games, and they're going to win some games that they shouldn't, because Saturday has come out and said, I don't want to go for it as much on fourth down. I want to run it more. He famously got in an argument on the sideline with Peyton Manning, yelling at him, hey, why are you checking out of these runs the pass of the ball? And Peyton pretty much just yelled back, hey, shut up, Jeff, and be a center. It was great. I'm just saying, this guy wants to run, and Jonathan Taylor is healthy. Should have been my best bet. Whatever the prop on that is, look at the over, because he is going to run it and run it and run it some more.
One quick question. Or did you have another thought?
No.
With Saturday coming back, does that mean Matt Ryan's coming back? Are they going to bring him back into the fold to say, look, let's settle down. We're going to run the ball with Matt Ryan as our quarterback?
They should. I mean, he came out when he was first hired and said Sam Ailinger, I don't even care how to pronounce it. It was going to be the quarterback. But they came out today or yesterday that Matt Ryan was at practice and was an option. So, I mean, that's what they should do. They should put the guy out there, or they should retire Matt Ryan and let him be the offensive coordinator.
That would probably be a better option than what they're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just enjoying this implosion as we watch here of the Indianapolis Colts, because I don't see it getting any better.
If you go look up the story's insane. Like, Jeff Saturday didn't know he was getting this job. The game was going on Sunday. Irsay is calling him on the phone like, Jeff, what's wrong with our protection? And even at that moment, he didn't have the clue that he was getting this job. Like, Irsay just pulled this one out of absolutely nowhere. And if I'm Jeff Saturday, I take the opportunity as well. You can always go back to –
who's going to say no?
Yeah, I mean, but you know what, guys? I'm not even joking. We should go apply for the Carolina Panthers job, because if he can get it, I don't know why I can't get it.
Fair enough.
Jacksonville Jaguars have earned a record of 3-6. Parker, I'm going to start with you. I'll go last with my team. What do you think about the Jags at the midterm, 3-6?
I gave them a C+. I think they're moving in the right direction. I like what Peterson's doing, but I mean, you still got to figure the factor in the record there. But we talked about at the beginning of the year, you don't go from losing big to winning. You go from Bobby Bowden said it. You go from losing big to losing little to winning big. You've got to make those steps, and they're making that step from losing big to losing little. They've found some good pieces in the draft. I still stand by that number 1 overall draft pick was an absolute travesty and still is. They've got ETN, who looks good. Lloyd looks good if it's not in coverage. But they've got some pieces moving in the right direction, so I'm not going to kill them for anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't see that there's pieces there that have some potential to work out, then you're blind. I struggle with, being at a C- or a D+, just because I keep waiting for them to take that next step. I hear what you're saying about losing big to losing little and all that. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess I could be persuaded to that. But at some point, I think you expect somebody on that team to step up and say, jump on my back, let's go. And maybe that's the college football fan in me that thinks that, that's the way it's supposed to be. And maybe it's not that way in the NFL. But you got a first overall pick quarterback there. Generational talent.
They're not going to have 3 in a row, by God.
No. Yeah, we'll see about that.
They should be. They need to be in London if that is.
Willie Duval might be down there. Willie Duval Levis. Never know.
No, sir.
Never know. I
if
don't
they
know.
get the
So,
number one pick, they're
Parker's
taking-
argument, I guess I could be persuaded to a C-, just because I can see them putting pieces in place. I like Peterson. I think he's a good coach. But you got to learn to win. It's not just about being better. It's learning how to win. And for whatever reason, they just haven't quite got there. Maybe it just needs more time. I don't know.
I've got a real head coach, another year of experiences, both positive and negative. Travis Etienne has been a great surprise with them trading James Robinson. They are 1-6 in one-score games, which means they're 2-0.
Learning to win.
They're 2-0 in blowouts. So that tells me they're not getting blown out, right?
Right.
They've already won 3 games by my predicted. I had them going 9-8 this year, silly, but thinking that they would get into the last 7th playoff spot. But when I was doing my actual wins versus predicted, at this time I had them at 5-4. So I have to grade them down.
Yeah,
because they've got 2 less wins than I expected. I expected them to beat Washington. I expected them to beat Houston.
Yeah, well, that's what you said, what was it, 1-6 in one-score games?
1-6 in one-score games. They
that's-
didn't win one until just this last
That's
week.
what I'm saying. That's learning to win. That's someone on that team stepping up and making a play when it counts. And, again, maybe I'm looking at this from more of a college perspective than NFL, but there's got to be some of that translates at some point to where someone just steps up and makes a play. There's got to be a definite leader out there on the field, and that maybe that's what's lacking, really.
Parker, the world needs it to be the quarterback. What do you think?
Yeah, they do. It's well recorded on here. I just don't think he has it. I really don't. I can go through all those stats, but the thing for you guys,
don't you worry,
are the next 2 games are going to be tough, man. The next 2 weeks are going to be real tough. Luckily, the second one's off of a bye week. You can maybe, if you pick off one of those, the last 3 games are winnable. But the problem is getting there, right? So I think a C+ is absolutely fair.
That was fun. You were saying that, and I was like,
he's
look at my
literally written down just exactly what you said.
Almost. I had 6 straight losses predicted. But Vegas was actually one that I predicted was a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I had them predicted to lose against the Raiders, the Chiefs, Ravens, lose at Detroit, lose at Tennessee, lose against Dallas. And then I had them winning the last 3, which were the Jets, Houston, and then that infamous Week 18.
Nobody can beat them on
beats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're undefeated.
You were saying, Tennessee won't matter, so they won't.
Yeah, it could be a real thing.
So here are my little stats. That's just a little, I like to nudge the fire a little bit. So I'm gonna
a little bit.
Let me give you. I ain't even going Peyton Manning. I'm going Josh Allen. Here we go. Josh Allen's rookie year: 52% completions, 10 touchdowns, and 12 picks. Trevor Lawrence, rookie year: 60% completions, 12 touchdowns, 17 picks. Josh Allen, year 2, 58% completions, 20 touchdowns, and 9 picks. Trevor Lawrence is on pace for about 63 to 64%, 20 touchdowns, and 12 picks. No one's kicking Josh Allen out of the NFL right now.
Yeah, I will go ahead and say that is a absolute.
He didn't take a step forward until year 3.
In year 3.
So just
no, because everybody uses the Josh Allen term. It is incredibly rare. Go find me another quarterback that went from being one of the worst through 2 years, which Trevor Lawrence is, which Josh Allen was, to the best in the league in year 3. Find me one other guy. One.
Yeah, it seems to me that that's kind of the anomaly. It's kind of easy to cherry pick that one.
But that just doesn't. He was just did not translate. And in fact, if you go back, I was going to do a whole thing about this, because but he's hurt, so it just seemed kind of pointless. Dude, Josh Allen's been bad the last 2 games, like bad, like old Josh Allen.
But it makes you wonder if that elbow's been a problem for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but Bradley, you mentioned a team that I wanted to touch on, if you don't mind. The Raiders. They are, and I know we talk about people getting fired all the time, but I'm not kidding you. They lose this game. If Josh McDaniels loses to Jeff Saturday, as bad as this team has been, He's gone. He just is. So far, the Raiders have 3 losses this year, went up by 17 points.
Yes, they do.
The rest of the NFL has 2. If you go from 1960 to last year in the Raiders organization, all those years, whatever that is, 61 years of football, the Raiders have 5 losses when they were up by 17. This year, they have 3. And they traded for the best receiver in football. I'm just telling you, McDaniels loses to Saturday. He gone.
McDaniels, your name has been spoken.
Oh, your name will be tagged on our post.
Name has been spoken.
So we're all about the same. We're hovering between that C+ to C- ish. I gave him a C- officially for the Jags. Tennessee Titans 5-3.
I'm the high one on this one?
Yeah, you're the high one.
Yeah.
But you were the only one that picked Florida a couple weeks ago, and you were right.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Wow.
Tennessee. Well, I graded it down to a C- because I expected them to have 5 wins at this point. They should not have lost to the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, that was unacceptable.
And they shouldn't have lost to the Houston Texans.
Nope.
Come on. Tennessee Titans 5-3 at this point. I wrote down awesome running back. Very good defense minus the cornerbacks. I'm never going to like your cornerbacks. Best head coach in the AFC South, B+.
Yeah, that might be a little generous, in my opinion. And there's things that can't be controlled, but there are things that have to improve. Offensive line play still has to get better. It's been a continuing struggle. They're doing things to try to get around having lesser talent and people out of position. There are bright spots. Obviously, Derrick Henry is running like a man possessed. I can tell you, whenever he gets the ball, it just looks like he is trying to hurt somebody whenever he runs. I think that our quarterback situation is a little bit concerning. I'm hoping Tannehill is going to be healed up here soon because I don't know that Malik is going to be a long-term fix at quarterback at the moment. Our defense continues to play well. I don't know. I guess I could go. I'm back and forth between a C+ and a B-, but they are winning some games. They played really, really well, in my opinion, against the Kansas City Chiefs, but they just couldn't pull it out, obviously. I don't know. I'll go B-. I'll go B-.
That's literally what I have written down. Offensive line, don't even undersell it. They're dreadful. Daly on the left side, I'm not kidding you. This beer can get in the way more than he does. And to highlight how good Derrick Henry is in the time that they get hit, like how many line yards the line pushes before the running back gets touched. Titans are next to dead last in the league. Houston's the only team worse. So Derrick Henry's getting hit in the backfield. Quarterback situation, he's been hurt. I don't know what Traylon is yet. He's been hurt. I don't, there's been a lot of injuries there, but you're right. We're still 5-3. We should have beat the Chiefs, to be honest with you. So where we're sitting, if you were to tell me, hey, this was going to happen to you guys this season, but this is what your record's going to be, I'd be like, all right, cool. I would have been a little disappointed because I would have honestly thought then we would have been in a battle with the Colts, but thank God they don't care.
Everybody who's got kids around, cover their ears. Fuck all those people who picked the Colts at the beginning of the year. Fuck those people. Good God Almighty. How stupid are you? They got quarterbacks that are 900 years old. They got a hippie for an owner, a guy that can't coach. Now they've hired some dude, some analyst from ESPN. What is wrong with you people? Get real.
Who's the next old quarterback?
Seriously, are we going to bring back somebody else? Who else?
Marcus. Let's let Marcus go full circle.
What about Joe Namath? Joe Namath want to come back?
He'd be better than Marcus.
We'll figure it out. We'll let the season play out. We'll figure out which old quarterback. It could be Joe Flacco.
Flacco would be the best quarterback in that team.
He's still got some go in the arm.
Brett Favre.
You ready? You want to do some picks? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's rev up our college pick-6. try to keep these short and sweet because we've got a fantastic matchup of Mizzou at the UT Vols. If you want the home team, you're giving up about 3 touchdowns. It seems like maybe minus 20. Welcome to senior day in Knoxville is what I wrote down. These teams have only played 10 times ever. Both teams are at 5-5. Parker, this is the rubber match. What do you see?
Tennessee is going to come out and whip the dog crap out of this team. And like I even sat down to go through the numbers, and Tennessee has the advantage all over the place. While Missouri D may be good on the ground, play to play, you know what? They're almost dead last out of 131 teams. That's against explosive runs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all have watched Tennessee at all, but they tend to do explosive plays.
Yeah, I look at this game, and this is got red ass game written all over it. This is going to be probably a 4-score beatdown, in my opinion. A lot of emotion, senior day. Early games tend to go pretty fast in Knoxville. Explosive plays, running plays in particular. Yeah, we do those too. So I see this as another 550 yards of offense. I see Joe Milton playing probably the entire second half. And we might even get to the 3rd and 4th string quarterback.
Before we officially say it, are you going to try to write the picks before we say the picks this week? That was fun last week. You scribbling all over the place.
No, I'm not.
I'm going UT Vols here, 42-21. Vols minus 20. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And I also, this is not the NFL. It doesn't matter if you win. You got to win big for the College Football Playoff Committee, and the Vols know it, and it's pedal to the metal. Hendon Hooker's also second in Heisman right now. There's 2 things they could accomplish here, but there's something that I think people forget about, but I know the players, and I know the coaches didn't. Because over the summer, Jim Rome had Eli Drinkowitz, the coach for Missouri, on his show, and this guy's an absolute idiot if you listen to his quotes. But this one, he said, quote, "Let's hold up on what my record is because I expect them to vacate some wins, and that's going to help my record a little." Okay, end quote. Talking about the Vols. I'm just telling you, the players aren't going to forget that. Drinkowitz is the play caller for Missouri, and to keep his job this offseason, he's probably going to have to give that up and hire an offensive coordinator. This is the show me state. So show me how to recruit, Eli, because guess what? The Vols' second best prospect, Nico being the first, is Tredavian Bradley, an edge. Guess where he's from, Eli? It's Missouri. Missouri is 60th in recruiting. That is 10 behind Vandy. Vols, name the score. I don't care what it is.
10 behind Vandy.
50 spots going to be hanging on the home team. Right there is what I'm saying.
We're all going UT, and I already put it in pen before you said
the Tennessee team total is 36 points. I'm just saying.
What?
That's going to hit at halftime.
Where is that? DraftKings? Daddy's got some money I need to bet. 36 is the total?
It was of yesterday.
Holy moly. I need to find that.
Everybody go run, look. It may have jumped. I don't know.
Blake is running to DraftKings as we speak.
Everybody time out. Let's go look real quick.
Can we get a over-under total for the UT scores? Is it under team props?
I don't remember which one I saw it on. That's the problem.
Click on team prop. We'll see if they got.
What about halves?
No, what's team totals? What is that? 37.5.
It's gone up a point.
See,
it's still 14.
You still have to pay 130 to win 100. I mean that basically means they think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's why they're making you pay.
I read that the first time. I was like, "Is that for the first half?"
30. Wow. Oh, Daddy might have to have a bet tomorrow morning. Second game, we got South Carolina at Florida last year. Blake, South Carolina swamped the Gators 40-17, and that was the last nail in the coffin of Dan Mullen, who was live on our show. We had an interview, an exclusive. This is senior day in the swamp as well. What do you think about old Spencer? Can they repeat?
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah. Can they go down to Florida and just win a game?
Well, they caught Florida at a weird time last year, and I think that Billy Napier is at least keeping this team to where they're not quitting. Last year at this time, this is about the time when they started to quit, in my opinion. This game was probably one of the genesis. I don't know, whatever the freaking word it is. It was the beginning of when they started to quit. 8 points, huh? Yeah, I think Florida's got it in them. I think South Carolina is particularly bad this year. I think Rattler is really overrated. Yeah, and being in the swamp, no, I don't think they're going to be able to handle it. I'm going Gators here.
Line, I was just looking at it, is -8 right now, and the South Carolina team isn't good at anything. The problem is Florida's worse at a lot of things they're not good at. South Carolina is 70th in passing. Florida's defense is 99th. South Carolina is 85th in rushing. Florida's defense is 108th. However, on the other side of the ball, this is going to sound exactly like me talking about Texas A&M last week. South Carolina is good against the pass, but guess who doesn't pass the ball? Florida is going to run. Yep. They're elite, and South Carolina defense is ranked 100th against the run. It's A&M game all over again.
Guys, we literally sat here before this show and said we don't have any. Bradley's really the only one that has anything written down, and it's amazing that we're all saying the same
absolutely
thing.
Like he read my little quick notes. I have like little two bullet points basically on each game, and here was my bullet point before I gave my pick. South Carolina struggles against the run. 295 yards against Arkansas, 208 against the Georgia Bulldogs, 226 against Vandy. The Florida Gators will run and run and run again. They will cover 30-21.
Boom.
Florida.
Boom. There's your score.
So we're all on Florida here? You want Florida too?
Yeah, everybody's on Florida.
Oh, no one's gone out different.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all, fellas.
I don't like the way this is looking here.
Okay, here we go. We're going to go to Parker's team. We're going to make a trip to Iowa. Look, he was pointing. He was pointing at his Iowa stuff. Look,
that's
there
what
it
he's
is.
Doing. Look at Look at
yes, sir. Wisconsin all of a sudden acting like they're a football team again. At Iowa, it's about Iowa -1. Wisconsin is 0-3 when turning over the ball multiple times. Iowa's offense is somewhat functional. In the last 2 weeks, I was playing around in our group text. I'm like, look, it's the fun and gun for Iowa. I think Iowa wins because Wisconsin's going to turn it over multiple times. I'm going 2017. Give me Iowa -1.
Yeah, I'm going Iowa here just because I think the Wisconsin Badgers are overrated. It doesn't matter if they're good. It doesn't matter if they're ranked. I think we always have to sit here and listen about how great the Badgers are. Look at Wisconsin. Why are they getting snubbed? Well,
they lost to Northwestern.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that was Nebraska.
That was Nebraska.
Now that Iowa has figured out how to put points on the board, I don't think they have a chance. Iowa all the way.
Northwestern hasn't won on American soil this year.
No.
Wisconsin's offense is better than Iowa's, but let's not sugarcoat it. Last week, Graham Mertz went 5 for 17, I think, for 77 yards. I mean, they're not usually that bad, but they're ranked around 50th. They're what Wisconsin's good is with Braylon Allen and with running the ball. But unlike South Carolina, Iowa is elite at stopping the run. I mean, the handicap on this, the over-under for this game is 35, meaning it's going to be close, which means a pick-6, a fumble 6, a special teams touchdown is probably going to win this game. And there is one team that does it better than anyone in the country. Give me the luck of the Hawkeyes.
Wow, we got the same again. That's 3 straight games. What is happening here, folks? All right, let's try this one. Louisville at Clemson. If you want the home team, you're giving the full touchdown -7. DJ has been benched for Cade Klubnik. What is the latest? What are you seeing with that situation? Either one of you?
Yeah, the DJ was playing well. They put in Klubnik and he throws a pick in the end zone.
Yeah, he did.
I don't understand what they're doing. I don't even know why Dabo's coaching because he said he would retire if players ever got paid. So do what you said. I don't think they know what they're doing there. DJ has not been bad this year.
Man,
compared to last year.
I know it's kind of
I got a stat
low,
for DJ.
There's a low bar there. Clemson is a team that's just begging for attention. They're begging for eyeballs and begging for attention from the college football playoff committee. They think that they're getting snubbed again this year. Well, I think you should get snubbed. I don't really see anything that impresses me about Clemson this year. The fact that we are talking about a 7-point line here at home against Louisville, I'm going with Louisvile.
Give Blake the 7 points. Well, before Parker, I'm gonna skip line here.
Okay.
Just in case there could be a chance that we're all in the same team again, because what I have written down was DJ's last 2 games, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Louisville leads the ACC with 34 sacks, 67 tackles for losses. Give me the Louisville Cardinals. I'm not predicting the upset. I'm going 27-24 Clemson, but I'll take the 7 points. What about you, Parker?
Man, I've been back and forth on this one constantly. I actually think what happens is going to be a push. I think Clemson wins this game by 7. They were dominated in the trench last week on both sides of the ball, which is weird, makes no sense. They've got the bigger, the better guys. I don't know what's going on. Dabo quit. But Notre Dame ran all over Clemson last week, and you know who likes to run the ball more than Notre Dame? It's Malik Cunningham in this Louisville team. It's just what they are. Clemson's giving up 200 or more rushing yards in 2 of the last 3 games. I don't know, man. I keep going back and forth on this. Malik Cunningham does have an injury on his non-throwing hand, and since he runs the ball, I think that could be an issue. The problem with picking Louisville is they've played nobody. I mean, nobody.
Wake?
What was the score of that game?
I think they beat Wake.
And whatever.
In Louisville. It was an ambush in Louisville.
Clemson is fraudulent.
I'll take the points. Give me Louisville, but I don't.
Same again, Louisville.
But I don't like it. I'll say I don't like it.
The fact that we're all on the same page. Here.
All 4 of them. Now, there's no.
It's a push.
No way we can be the same here. We're going best bets next, where we can pick anything in the lineup. I'm looking at a team that has burnt me multiple times this year when I'm picking this game. Purdue team. I'm looking at the Purdue Boilermakers on the road at slumping Illinois. Chase Brown is all you got after flopping at home last week. I think that you're probably going to lose to Purdue again. If not, I still get 6.5, 6, 7 points. Give me Purdue in the points is my best bet.
Go ahead, Parker. I'm going to be doing mine live here.
Oh, hey, tell this one because this is it. This is the one. This is the week. This is the week TCU gets smacked down. I have sat here and said this before, and I'm going to say it again. TCU has played 5 games against a backup or third-string quarterback. Texas can own them through the air, and if someone knocks out quarterback Quinn Ewers, that's fine because TCU is even worse against the run, and Texas has the best running back in all the land in Bijan Robinson. You can run on Texas, and the one thing that TCU can do is they can potentially move it through the air, but TCU's not going to run it on them because they don't have anyone to do that with. Quentin Johnson, the star wide receiver, is potentially out for TCU in this. Max Duggan has a hurt muscle calf. On top of that, Gary Patterson, the special assistant to the Texas head coach, knows TCU like the back of his hand. He has been the head coach there from 2000 to 2021. That's last year. He coached this quarterback for 3 years. Texas is going to roll. The line is 7. It should be 21.
Blake has found something.
Guys, I'm doing this one live. Very unprepared, but you know what? I'm going through my process live here on the air. I got a lot of games to choose from here, obviously, but I'm going to focus here in the SEC. Looking at a game that's going to be going on in Lexington between the Vanderbilt Commodores and the Kentucky Wildcats. Right now, the Wildcats are favored by 17.5.
This line should be 70, right?
So says DraftKings. You know, they have the projected number 2 or number 4, depending on which source you look at, quarterback in next year's draft. Guys, this should be a blowout, right?
Oh, yeah. 70.
Oh, no. Here come the Commodores bringing that anchor all the way up there to Lexington to lay it on that ass.
Jesus.
I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't going to be no 17.5-point ass whipping. It's going to be a close game.
This ain't upset alert.
You better watch this game right here. I'm not kidding. Kroger Field might implode whenever the Vanderbilt Commodores come up in there with that anchor and drop it right at the 50-yard line against Kentucky and Will Levis's ass.
He's taking the plus 17.5.
Give it to me.
I had this written down. I almost did this, but I thought it would seem too ridiculous if I did Vandy back-to-back. But let me just back you up on a couple of things.
Come on, let's go, Parker.
Where the big money's come. Let's just talk spread first of all. Spread 17.5. 65% of the bets are coming in on Vandy, but 93% of the money. It means the guys that are laying the big bucks are betting on Vandy. But let's just go for the fun of it. Let's look at the money line. The money line, 85% of the bets are on Kentucky, but only 15% of the bets are on Vandy. Only 15% of the bets, but 79% of the money is on Vandy to straight up win. So the guys that back these teams, these are people we're talking 5-figure bets here, are backing Vandy to win this game.
Come on, let's go. Let's make some money, guys. Let's make some money. Down there in the comments, tell me what you think. Is Mayo Boy going to get served a big fat anchor this weekend?
This wasn't even our underdog section.
I'm just sitting here looking at it. Could you, in efficiency, with Mayo Boy, UK and passing in efficiency, there's 131 teams. They're 69th in the country.
Number 2 overall pick.
They're 127th out of 131 and giving up sacks. That's also on the quarterback. Their red zone efficiency, which is a big-time quarterback stat, they're 90th out of 131. Their first downs, they're 99th out of 131. Turnovers, they're 96th out of 131.
Number 2 overall pick.
Going to the Indianapolis Colts.
Mel Kiper Jr. Willie Duval.
Underdog, I'm sticking with a team that I've been pumping up all year. I'm looking at North Carolina. They're an underdog this week as they travel to Truist Field to take on Wake. However, where I have to take a little pause, I found this stat, Parker. They are 5-1 against the spread following a against the spread loss. So look out. But this is the team I'm thinking is going to win the Coastal. Go in there and beat Wake. I'm going North Carolina 33-30 as my underdog special.
That game is the game of the week to watch. The over-under is like 74, and it's probably going to go over.
I didn't even put my score high enough then. I said 30-30.
I mean, it's nuts because none of them play defense. And guys, my dog here, I legit looked at Georgia going down, but I am too scared to do that because I believe that they will lose a game. Last week I had Kansas, and that one flip-flopped on me. They were a favorite by the time this rolled around. The same thing happened to me this week with Iowa State. They're now the favorite. So had to change it up again. I'm going to go with a horrible team playing another horrible team. I'm taking Miami to beat Georgia Tech. I know these two teams are going the opposite direction. As bad as Miami has been, they should be able to pass against this team. Georgia Tech sucks. But this is really a fade of Georgia Tech's offense. Looking at their offensive ranks out of the 131 teams, I'm not going to tell you passing, rushing, it doesn't matter. But they're 127th, 124th, 115th, 119th. It doesn't matter. They're bad at everything. The only way
Tech a favorite. What?
Because Miami is garbage.
No, MTSU beat down a good team.
I'm just telling you, the only way Miami loses this game, and this is very likely, is if they quit. If they just absolutely quit. But they should just on talent alone roll out there and beat this team.
All right.
Oh, Lord. I'm looking at 2 games right here, and I'm trying to pick which one I am going to write a death sentence for here.
Don't do that one.
I'm looking at 2 of them, but there's one that I want more than the other, and I think I'm going to go with the other one. I'm looking at the Washington-Oregon game here. Mr. Bo Nix is favored by 12 right now. The Huskies are coming in there. It's 12-point underdogs. I'm tired of hearing about Oregon. I'm tired of hearing about Bo Nix. I'm tired of hearing about washed up SEC quarterbacks.
You tired of hearing about the pack, whatever?
I mean,
they got so many teams in the top 10.
If you can't make it on the varsity, you go play junior varsity. And that's what he's done here when he went to the Pac-12. I'm saying he's going to implode this weekend. This is when it happens. He's going to lose it for Oregon this weekend. Washington is going to take him down. Book it.
Hey, as a how about you, as an Oilers fan, Jesus, as a Vols fan, I hope you're right.
Yep. Very, very much a loaded pick there.
It is time to go from college to the pros. NFL pick 6 time. Denver at Tennessee. This line's floating between 2, 3. I think it's around 2.5 right now. Tannehill, Willis, Tannehill. I mean, quarterback's fault, wide receiver's fault. There's been so much talked about, so much debated in local sports talk. I mean, what is it?
It's wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, there's just not any options.
I mean, it's a rookie quarterback, a third rounder, a project. Everybody knew that. We knew that. We all talked about that. But when the guy hits you for like a 40-yard bomb multiple times, you got to catch it. You got to help these guys out. You know, if you have a Patrick Mahomes out there, he can make some magic. But when you have one of these lesser guys or a rookie, man, you just got to, wide receiver, you've got to receive the ball. Like, they just have to do your job every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, look, I watched some of the game and Malik looked pretty good at times. Like, he was throwing some dimes there at times. And like you said, Parker, that one play in particular, there was a guy playing wide receiver that I'm not even sure I even know who he was. But Malik threw an absolute dime. The freaking ball hit him right in the arms, and he dropped the ball.
Was that ex-Jag, ex-Texan, ex-Georgia Bulldog Conley?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, Chris.
I didn't even know he was on our roster. All I know is he shouldn't have been. Obviously, that's why I didn't know who he was.
He's taking a jab at the GM. I just heard it right there.
Whatever. All I know is that he's our quarterback, who is
dropped
young.
it on purpose.
Dude, all I know is I completely agree with Parker. Particularly with these young guys, you need your receivers to make plays when they make good throws, because young quarterbacks, they kind of get on streaks, and whenever you blow their confidence, whenever you hit them right in the chest and they drop the ball, I mean, it just kills a young quarterback.
Yeah, Tannehill's obviously a better quarterback. Like, I think he's way better than what people think he is, but like, he doesn't make them catch the ball. I mean, it just is. It is what it is. And Bradley, I think you're hinting at who plays this week there. I don't know. I mean, I know Tannehill practiced in full, but I also know that there is a game on Thursday, and if I'm the Titans, I sit him down for one more game and let him come back Thursday.
I think he's available. I think you have him available, but you let Malik go again. Personally,
the Denver coming off their bye, Titans coming off of a long overtime loss versus Kansas City. I really do think that the Jags should have beat Denver. I don't really see much there. We've got the Russell Wilson thing. I mean, is he working out on a boat this week? Is he going to be working out on the plane on his way to Nashville? That coach is horrible, Parker. I'm sorry. I mean, Nate Hackett ain't getting it done.
No.
I think the fan base hates him.
Yeah. I think if you're going just by coaches alone, I'm sitting here looking at Vrabel versus Hackett. Yeah. I think that answers the question for me. I'm going Titans.
Jeff Saturday might be a better coach than Hackett. I mean, they brought Hackett in for one reason, and that was because he was Aaron Rodgers' boy, and they thought that would bring Aaron Rodgers over, and that failed, and they were stuck with him as coach. But this is scary, man. This is another reason why I would sit Tannehill down, even though I think he plays. There's no Big Jeff in this game. There's no Amani Hooker in this game. There's no Zach Cunningham in this game. There are major pieces missing. Traylon Burks, thank God, is going to be back. But these teams seem really similar. That's absolutely going to matter. They need somebody that's got separation that can move out there. You're telling me he's not better than freaking Chris Conley?
No, he is.
It absolutely is going to matter. But these teams feel super similar to me, and you mentioned it. They came after that overtime game. Dude, this Titans team could be gassed. They played 91 plays. If you count penalties, they played 101 plays on Sunday night. But then you look at the other side of this thing, and Denver just traded away their best defender. So I don't really know what that means. I do know that it's a battle against strengths here. The Titans have the best, believe it or not, the Titans have the best red zone offense in the NFL. The Broncos have the best red zone defense. The Titans have the best third down defense in the NFL. No Big Jeff, so think about that. But the Broncos have the worst red zone offense. So which one's going to show up? I actually think this game there might be some points sneakily just because of the pieces missing. But you said it, man. 2.5. I literally have written down 3 take the Broncos, 2.5 take the Titans. Give me the Titans at 2.5.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't even disagree. Why I said in a gut reaction that it won't matter. I'll just say one name why it doesn't matter. Derrick Henry. It's not going to matter. The passing game is not going to matter. You know what you can do? You can throw Austin Hooper a couple more balls because he ain't going to get close to 60. Daddy's already made that money. I'm just waiting.
Keep on going, baby. Hey, you know what's weird? They don't. It's weird that they don't. Like, if you've noticed, like, if you listen to Titans radio, people are curious, like, why are they using him? Because every time he's out there and every time they pass it to him, he does something.
Yeah.
He catches it. He bops it up to himself and catches
it.
No,
he doesn't. He catches them.
He catches it. It doesn't matter if it hits his fingertips and goes in there. He catches it.
I know.
Hey, man, we text about it, but, man, that Malik pass, that back shoulder dime to him was absolutely
God, that was beautiful. It was that, and then that's when he threw the freaking ball to Conley, just totally botched it.
Even me, the Titans, whatever you want to call me, I sent a text and I said, he's dropping a dime to Hooper. I put it in the text.
Yeah, well,
I'm going Tennessee 16-13. They covered.
I don't like this. We're too.
I don't like, but if y'all want something, I would never touch this as a prop because I'm not betting against my team.
Oh, no.
But if you look at where the Titans struggle and where not really Titans struggle, but where the one thing that the Broncos do well is Russ is terrible at passing it short, terrible at passing it middle, but he still has one of the best deep balls in the league, and he loves to go right. And who lines up to the right-hand side as Cortland Sutton coming off a bye. I could just see a few of these deep, absolutely rainmakers to Cortland Sutton.
And then you've got Jerry Jeudy. You've got, a rookie tight end there. You've got the KJ Hamler. I mean, he's got little speed guys that can get past a defense that, what did Parker say, 91 plays?
Dude, I've had Jeudy all year on my fantasy, and he hasn't done shit.
He gets matched up against a spicy cornerback group coming off of 91 plays on defense. I still think the Titans, Randy Bullock kicks them to a victory, 16-13.
Fat Randy.
Come on, Randy. Jacksonville at Kansas City. Andy Reid, Doug Peterson friendship is well known, long standing. Goes back to Green Bay days when they were young men. Mahomes setting records last week, 43 of 68, 446 yards, but his arm is falling off. Thank you, Titans, for making him throw so many times. He's going to have to play the quarterback position left-handed this week against the Jags. I like how it's setting up. What do you think, Blake?
I'll be honest with you. 9 seems like a lot to me. I don't know, though. But, I mean, the Jaguars have done nothing but disappoint me all year, quite frankly. My head says that, come on, 9, really? You ought to be able to do that. You ought to be able to take care of that. I just don't have any confidence that this Jaguars team is ready to step up against an elite team like the Chiefs. I don't know. I just don't think that they've got it in them. I know that Jacksonville. I know that KC is. They played a long game against the Titans. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Though this is just going to be a warm-up game for the next week for them. I think that the KC is going to roll here.
Oh.
They did play a long game, but I would argue for them the thing would be they played a physical game, and I think the Titans are more of a team that would recover from something like that. And you're right, they are a big game next week, and it's against the Chargers, which could be for the division, honestly. So you had against the Titans, who are leading their division and possible home playoff advantages, to Jacksonville, the Chargers. It could be a sandwich spot, but I will say Mahomes in his last 23 November and December games, he is 23-0. However, Mahomes as a big favorite of more than 7 points is 12-17. And this year alone, if you are giving up 7 points or more, it's you're 11-20 against the spread. I do think that Kansas City is going to be smarter than the Raiders and run man instead of zone, because Trevor Lawrence has had basically has had some good games. The good games have come against the Colts, who play a very specific zone, and for some stupid reason, the only team to run that specific type of zone more than the Colts do every time was the Raiders in the second half last week. I just struggle with how you beat Mahomes, Bradley. You know this as well as I do. You get pressure on him with 4, and everybody else stays back. You don't blitz. I don't know that they can get pressure on him, and I'm really afraid about who is going to be covering Kelsey, because if it's Devin Lloyd, I don't know what his prop is, but take the over.
What do you think about the spread?
I think the Chiefs beat the Titans by 3. They lost to the Colts by 3, beat the Chargers by 3, and beat the Raiders by 1. They're not invincible. If they beat Jacksonville by this, it would be Jacksonville's biggest loss of the year. And I'm going to sit here and bet against that, even if they're up by 15, 16 points, going to prevent. Y'all know me. These 9-10 ones, I never touch them. Give me the points.
Jacksonville. Yeah, I mean, said it earlier in the show. Jacksonville was 1-6 in one-score games, 2-0 in blowouts. They just don't lose big here, and this is more than a one-score game. So I'm taking the points, but I wrote down after the Jags went down early last week, 17-0 against the Raiders. They rallied behind. What's the right word? I don't want to say good quarterback, improving quarterback play. Trevor Lawrence was 81% passing, 235 yards and a touchdown. Travis Etienne has 380 yards rushing in his last 3 games. Bettors are getting killed by investing in the Kansas City Chiefs. These bettors are 2-5. Kansas City is 2-5 against the spread since week 2 because of their defense is 22nd. In EPA, I'm going Chiefs win 27-23, but give me the points.
Bradley pulled out EPA stats. Yes. I love it.
Come on, Jags. Man, cover the spread. Let's go to Blake's house right here. Dallas. Green Bay, the visitor. It's about a 4.5-point favorite here. The Green Bay injury list I wrote down is longer than your wife's annoying grocery list.
What do you not self-checkout?
Yeah.
Like last you like Dallas here?
So the Packers have looked really bad lately. Really, really, really bad. Aaron Rodgers looked god awful last time. And it's always been somebody else's fault. I can't tell you how many I'm sure Parker probably knows, or maybe Bradley, when the last time he's thrown 2 red zone interceptions or multiple red zone interceptions. Actually, I don't think it's ever happened.
It's been a long time.
If ever, I don't know that it's ever happened. So, all I know is that it is just, they look awful right now. They look out of sync. He clearly gives off the vibes that he's done with Green Bay at this point. I don't know if he really is done with Green Bay, but this almost feels like that middle finger moment that I talked about last year.
Oh, okay. So I saw on the very first play, I get a Romeo catches a slant. I just picked him up off the waiver wire. He hurts his ankle. He's out. He got me 1.8 points on a slant.
Yeah.
I do think they get some good news. They kind of missed maybe the injury bug with Aaron Jones. I think that he is practicing today. They should have him, but honestly, I'm leaning, Parker. You can talk me the other way, but I'm leaning giving the 4.5 points on the road, and I'm leaning Dallas here, 28-17.
I'm with you there. I'm going Dallas all the way. I think that this is going to be the continuation of the downward spiral that is the Green Bay Packers.
All right, Bradley, listen to this pitch. You're right. Yeah, you should be doing that, because you could dive in this matchup, and other than Green Bay being able to run the ball, in every other matchup you can look at, any of them, Dallas has the advantage in all of them. So I'm just not going to go down that road. And you're right. They got lucky with Aaron Jones. They got unlucky on defense for Rashawn Gary, who is going to be done for the year. So, I mean, that's a massive, massive loss. And Dallas is going to be able to get pressure with the front 4. They've got the best pass rush in all the land. I don't care what you say, Buffalo. But here's my two arguments. Regression is coming hard for the Packers. This is the biggest gap of week measuring teams' luck. The Packers are the unluckiest, and Dallas is the second luckiest. In their 5-game winning streak, their post-expected points scored was 100, and their points against them was about 100 as well, meaning they should be about 50-50 in this thing. They have bounces go against them every week in the red zone. Some of these tip balls in the red zone aren't all Aaron Rodgers' fault. It will end. The question is, can you pick the week it will end? While this Green Bay team isn't going to scare anyone, this is what I'm taking Green Bay for. This is Aaron Rodgers at home as an underdog, getting more points than he ever has at Lambeau. Not only do I think they cover this game for no reason whatsoever, I think they probably win.
All right.
I think there might be a little in the background of Parker, two-tone blue Parker's mind. He wants Aaron Rodgers to go ahead and win this game. He doesn't want to have that red booty factor on Thursday night football.
100%.
He wants to go ahead and win now so he can relax.
Blow the steam off. Let him blow the steam off.
Rodgers can relax and just watch Henry run all night long.
Hey, he can just come to his farm in Nashville, just saunter out there.
Go ahead and get that win.
Take it easy. Not that big of a deal, big guy.
The nightcap game, we've got the Chargers at San Francisco. You're laying about 6.5, 7. What do we see there on DraftKings, Blake? We got 7. It's the full 7. Yep. My note was Christian McCaffrey. Last time we saw him playing an NFL game, he threw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. The Chargers still have injury concerns with their wide receivers, Allen and Williams. Eckler can do it all, but I'm taking San Fran. 25-17.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going San Fran as well. I think this San Francisco offense, with the addition of Christian McCaffrey, it just makes it more and more scary every week whenever he starts getting more involved in the offense. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there, but I think it's probably a fairly easy victory there.
Yeah, I mean, this guy named Christian McCaffrey is pretty good, and the Chargers, speaking of EPA on defense against the run, are 31st. They're just not good at this. And you said it. Chargers have no wide receivers, like literally. And on top of that, they have probably the biggest arm quarterback in the league. They don't let him throw it more than 5 yards. But you're right. They're great at passing it to Austin Eckler. If you put Austin Eckler in a list of wide receivers, he'd be the 13th with the most receptions.
I believe it.
Or targets, I'm sorry. But the 49ers are the best team in all NFL at covering backs out of the backfield that come out for catches. This is a really bad game. However, it is a divisional game, and divisional games by more than 7 don't happen all that much. While I don't trust the staff, I do trust Justin Herbert to be down by 14 and get me that touchdown at the end. Give me the Chargers. 7's just a lot.
It is. I originally wrote down San Fran 24-17, and then when Blake showed me the line, I made it 25-17.
I was waiting for him to say if it was 6.5 or 7. I'm like, I will change this right now.
I'm thinking San Fran. Best bet time where we can pick a prop if you want. You can pick a game if you want. I didn't have time to study the props yet. I'll be all over some props on Sunday morning.
Hey, let me get I shifted one. Let me give you one. I'll give you one because I did research, but I threw all the research away to go. My official play here, because I'm going to be there and I just have to be, is the King, Derrick Henry. His longest rush over-under is 19 yards. Sign me up, buddy, because he's done that, I think, the last 4 weeks. He always breaks one. I mean, he just does.
Henry to have at least a 120-yard rush.
Yep, that is it. That is it. So there you go.
I went with a game. I wrote down, give me the Dolphins minus 3.5. And I wrote down simply, if Cleveland can't control this game with their running game and Miami gets up big, there's no way they're throwing back into this game. I'm going Miami 3.5. Tyreek, Waddle, maybe a sprinkle of Gesicki. They're going to run wild.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. I'm doing them live here tonight, guys. So I'll go to my backup plan here. Pretty boring stuff here. I'm going looking at the Houston and New York game here. New York Giants, that is. I think it's going to be a close game.
That line is falling quick.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston there.
It's all the way down to +4. It's all the way down to 4.5, Parker, that one.
Yeah, there's something out there people know. That one, I would take Houston also.
Yep, I did too. No. Underdog time, just for fun, to give me something to watch. Sunday morning, I went to the game in Germany. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. Let Kenneth Walker, the rookie, run all day. Get me some fantasy points. Give me Seattle as my upset underdog.
I'm just going to be a broken. That game doesn't make sense to me either. The spread on that, but and y'all have heard me say what I'm about to say about 1 billion times. Tomlin at home is an underdog.
Oh, it's Pittsburgh time.
It's 15-3-3. It just is, man. It's just an auto pick. Like it's on top of that, coming off a bye, he's almost undefeated. TJ Watt is coming back. He changes the game all by himself. If you look when TJ Watt is in there versus when he's not in there, the yard per play is the amount they gain per play is a yard less. Like that's how big of an impact he is. All 8 of the Steelers games has come against top 13 teams. They have the hardest schedule in the league. Steelers to straight up win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go. You probably could have predicted this one, I guess. Probably also. Maybe not. I don't know. We were talking about Josh Allen earlier. I think Parker was on to something there where maybe they just sit everybody here. Let everybody get well against Minnesota. Minnesota's doing pretty well right now. They're kind of riding high. Let's let them just take the victory here. I think I got Minnesota outright winning here against Buffalo this weekend.
Yeah, hey, and on top of that, Blake, it's not like it's against a AFC team. You know, it's the least impactful team you can lose to.
It's the least consequential game right now for them to do that on. That's it.
That's
right?
a show.
That's a show, guys.
Thanks for hanging in there with us. Skip around to your favorite spots.
I'll tag it in the description below there. But guys, really appreciate you joining us tonight for another episode of DDS Sports Talk. While you're here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps us out there on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a rumble on Rumble. Follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also download the audio versions of all these podcasts on your favorite podcasting platforms. Gentlemen, final thoughts.
Do I get to take the low-hanging fruit here, or are you taking this, Bradley?
Not me.
Well, I'll take a look at one of our, where we put everything. Where we're at right now, YouTube. We love our commenters on YouTube, and I love to interact with them. That they're fun. And poke fun at me, I love it. Call me out. I don't care. It's totally fine. But when you argue with me and you're wrong, you just look like a complete and total moron. I thought Tennessee's education system was bad, but obviously Kentucky's is much, much worse. We said Mayo Boy was going to suck. Guess what? He sucks. We said Kentucky was not going to win 10 games and go to whatever bowl. Guess what? They're not. Be careful. Be very careful talking crap the night before you play the Commodores. Anchor down.
Come on, let's go.
My final thought comes from college football as well. Remember, this week we got South Carolina at Florida. Everyone remembers Coach Steve Spurrier with the Gators, but let me remind the audience, Steve Spurrier coached for South Carolina as well, 11 seasons. He earned a record of 86-49, over 60% winning percentage with the South Carolina Gamecocks. A shout out to you, old ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Absolutely. My final thought is going to go to Mr. Trevor Lawrence. Congratulations for owning the worst record among quarterbacks drafted number 1 overall through 25 career starts in the common draft area. But who gives a shit about that stuff? Because who cares about the Jaguars? As always, it is two-tone blue all the way. You guys be well.